glands. Okay, maybe not so simple in your cat.
There was one cat that had really, really good glands.
Really good glands,
probably,
really good ducts.
Well, here's that one over there.
Here's your duct right here, so it's not too bad. So there's 3 sets of glands. The biggest is the parotid. You look for the ear, this gooey stuff right under the ear, spongy stuff, that's the parotid gland. And this is the parotid duct that runs across the face of that masseter muscle, and it goes into the mouth. Okay, so parotid gland, parotid duct. Okay, below the parotid, yeah, this has been kind of hacked to bits here, but this right here, right below the parotid, is the submandibular, and that at one time had a duct, which I don't know where it is right now. No idea. Anyway, that's the submandibular, and in the other cats, we have a couple of cats that have good ducts, where you can see the submandibular duct coming off of that going into the mouth.
Yeah, we got that on the other ones. So.
Yeah, and the sublingual one is deep to all of that, and you can't see it anyway. Okay. Right, so just parotid, parotid duct, submandibular, and on the other ones you'll see the submandibular duct coming off of that. Okay, and we go down here. This is obviously the trachea, right, with all the cartilage there to keep it from collapsing. The big plates up here, those are the thyroid cartilages, right there, right? The bump, the Adam's apple, or the ventral median prominence on the front. If you pull this up, okay, now we see the epiglottis right here, this leaf-like piece of tissue. And these 2 little pieces of tissue right in here at the opening of the trachea, those are the arytenoid cartilages. Those will be attached to the vocal folds. That is the opening to the trachea right there. Okay, so now I'm right here in the trachea. Okay? Lying just behind the trachea is another tube right here. Right there. And that would be the esophagus, which is right there. Much more flexible tube, obviously it has to be flexible so it can expand when food comes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's the esophagus. And coming down here, they tell you to look for the thymus gland, but none of these cats have a thymus. The thymus goes away as we age, but it would be right in this area. Big, like a red glandular, nondescript blob in there.
Why does that go away in age?
Because you don't use it, so it's reabsorbed as you age.
Okay.
Okay? And they want you to look for the phrenic nerves. Let's find our diaphragm or what's left of it. Okay, here's the diaphragm, right? Diaphragm is this thin but very, very tough muscle, separates the abdomen from the chest. And it has to move, which means it has to have a nervous connection. And these things that look like little strings here, one on this side. There's all this crap on this one. And I don't know where the one is on this side.
Okay.
I don't know where that one went. But you have one on this side. And there should be another one running down the other side, right alongside the heart. And those go right in to innervate the diaphragm. Those are your phrenic nerves. Okay? This is what's left of your lung tissue here. I don't know what happened to the other half of his lungs, but that's his lung tissue. Then we come down here. This big thing, first thing you see, this is all liver. He's got a really big liver.
Yeah.
That's a really big liver. Okay? That's all liver. That liver is actually held up under the diaphragm by this right here. This is called a falciform ligament. And that just serves to keep the liver in place. And if we pry some of this stuff out of the way, you can see the little gallbladder, which is right there. Right? The gallbladder stores up the bile that's produced by the liver. There's a duct leading out, right where it comes out of the gallbladder, called the cystic duct. Just the end of it right there. That is going to combine with some ducts coming in from the liver, which you can see a little bit right here coming in. There's one right there coming in. All those hepatic ducts combined with this, combined with the bile duct to form the common bile duct, which is this tube. I can't pick it up even. This tube right here, this right here. Blood vessel in there too. I can't get it out. Anyway, right there. So you have the bile duct comes down, you have the hepatic ducts come in, they all combine into this one big tube. That's called the common bile duct, and that empties out right at the beginning of the small intestines. Okay? This thing right here, this J-shaped organ right here, this thing, this is all stomach. Okay? The esophagus has to come down through the diaphragm to get to the stomach, obviously. So here's our esophagus coming down, right, our big tube. And where it comes through that diaphragm is called a hiatus. And that is the spot designated